The train's brakes screeched against the metal tracks, jolting Emma awake. Her wedding dress, now wrinkled and stained from 2 days of travel, rustled as she grabbed her worn suitcase. Through bleary eyes, she saw the station sign and panicked. This looked like her stop. Willow Creek, the conductor called. Emma's heart raced. She stumbled off the train, her heavy dress catching on the steps. As the train pulled away, she stood on the empty platform, confusion washing over her. This wasn't right. The station was too small, too quiet. She pulled out the crumpled letter from her pocket, reading it again. Willowbrook Station. My son, Michael, will meet you there. The ranch is 3 miles north. Her stomach dropped. Willowbrook, not Willow Creek. She'd gotten off at the wrong station. Emma was a mail-order bride, traveling from Boston to marry a rancher she'd never met. After her father's death left her penniless, she'd answered an advertisement. The letters had been kind, promising a new life. But they'd come from the rancher's father, not the groom himself. Now, she was stranded in the wrong town with only $5 to her name and nowhere to go. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The small station was deserted except for an older man sweeping the platform. "Excuse me, sir," Emma approached him. "When's the next train to Willowbrook?" "Willowbrook?" He scratched his beard. "That's 3 towns over. Next train's not till Thursday." Thursday. 3 days away. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "You all right, miss?" the man asked kindly. "I'm supposed to be getting married," she whispered. "I've made a terrible mistake. The Morrison Ranch is just up the road. Mrs. Morrison sometimes takes in boarders. Tell her old Pete sent you." The Morrison Ranch was grander than anything Emma had imagined. A sprawling white house sat atop a hill, surrounded by green pastures where horses grazed peacefully. Her muddy wedding dress looked ridiculous as she climbed the porch steps. A middle-aged woman with kind eyes answered the door. "Mrs. Morrison, old Pete said you might have a room." "Goodness, child. Come in before you catch your death." The woman ushered her inside. "And what's with the wedding dress?" Over tea, Emma explained everything. The mail-order arrangement, the wrong station, her predicament. Mrs. Enerso. Her predicament. Mrs. Morrison listened thoughtfully. "You can stay here until Thursday. I could use help around the house anyway. But I should tell you, my son lives here too. He was blinded in an accident 2 years ago. He's been difficult since then. Angry at the world." "I don't mind," Emma said softly. "I'm grateful for your kindness." That night, Emma met James Morrison. He sat in the library, his face turned toward the fireplace, his hands running over the pages of a Braille book. Even in the dim light, Emma could see he was handsome. Strong jaw, dark hair, broad shoulders. But there was a hardness to his expression, a wall built around him. "Another charity case, Mother." His voice was bitter. "James, please." Mrs. Morrison sighed. "This is Emma. She'll be helping around the house for a few days." "I don't need a nursemaid." "Good, because I'm not one," Emma found herself saying. "I'm just someone who got off at the wrong station." Something flickered across James's face. Surprise, maybe interest. Over the next 3 days, Emma discovered that the Morrison Ranch was running itself into the ground. Mrs. Morrison was overwhelmed, and James refused to participate in the ranch operations, convinced his blindness made him useless. Emma threw herself into work, grateful for the distraction from her impending marriage to a stranger. She cleaned, cooked, and organized the household accounts. And slowly, she began talking to James. "Tell me about the horses," she said one evening, finding him alone on the porch. "Why?" "Because I've never been around them. In Boston, we had nothing but streets and shops." Reluctantly, James began to talk. As he described each horse, their personalities, their quirks, their bloodlines, his voice transformed. The bitterness faded, replaced by genuine passion. "You miss it," Emma observed, "working with them." "I can't," he said flatly. "I can't see. But you know them better than anyone. You don't need eyes for that." The next day, Emma did something bold. She led James to the stables. "What are you doing?" he demanded. "Introducing you to Bella again," Emma said, guiding his hand to the mare's nose. "Your mother said she's been restless since you stopped training her." James's hand trembled as he touched the horse. Bella whinnied softly, pressing against his palm. Something broke inside him. Emma could hear it in the catch of his breath. "She remembers me," he whispered. "Of course she does. Animals don't need you to see. They need you to understand them, and you do." That afternoon, with Emma describing the surroundings and James using his intimate knowledge of the ranch, they walked the property together. James's confidence slowly returned. He stood taller, spoke with more certainty. "The fence by the north pasture needs repair," he said, running his hands along the wood. "I can hear it rattling wrong." "Then let's fix it," Emma said simply. They worked together, Emma as his eyes, James as the expertise. By sunset, the fence was mended, and James was smiling for the first time since his accident. That evening, they sat on the porch as Emma described the sunset to him. "The sky is like fire," she said softly, "orange and gold and pink, all blending together. The clouds look like they're glowing from within." "I remember," James said quietly. "Then, why are you marrying a man you've never met?" Emma was silent for a moment. "Because I thought I had no choice. I thought security was the same as happiness. And now I wonder if I've been looking for the wrong things." James reached out, his hand finding hers. "Emma, I know you have to leave tomorrow. I know you have obligations. But these 3 days, you've given me my life back. You've shown me that my blindness doesn't define me." "You did that yourself," Emma said, tears streaming down her face. "I just reminded you of who you already were." "Stay," James whispered, "not out of obligation or security, but because in 3 days, you've become the person I want to spend my life knowing better. I can't offer you what you were promised. I don't know what kind of future I can give you. But I can promise you'll never just be a convenient arrangement. You'll be cherished." Emma thought of the train that would come tomorrow, carrying her toward a stranger and a predetermined life. Then she looked at James, at his sincere expression, at the way he'd come alive in just 3 days, at the connection they'd built. "I'm not getting on that train," she said. James pulled her close, and for the first time in her life, Emma understood what home felt like. 6 months later, Emma stood in the Morrison family chapel in a new wedding dress, simple but beautiful. James waited at the altar, his mother beside him crying happy tears. As Emma took his hand, she thought about that wrong station, that fortunate mistake. Sometimes, the wrong train takes you exactly where you need to be. "I can't see you," James whispered as they stood together. "But I, Faye, Your Joy, tell me, Are you happy? Emma smiled through her tears. I'm home. And she was. Not because she'd found security or wealth, but because she'd found someone who saw her, truly saw her, even in his blindness, someone who needed her spirit, not just her service, someone who loved her not for convenience, but for the unexpected gift she was. The wrong station had led her to the right love.